Hello, my name is Nicole, and thank you so much for taking the time out to listen. Today, I am talking about no time for people. No time for people. This message goes out to those individuals who are a bit, let's just say irritated because they've come across folks who just don't have time. They don't have time to sit down and talk. They don't have time to meet. They don't have time to connect. They don't have any quality conversation. Their eyes are wandering everywhere. They are not focused. This message is for you. You're frustrated. You're upset. You're saying, Lord, I just want to be able to connect with someone. I want to have a quality friendship. I want to have a quality relationship. I want to be able to go places with a group of friends. But the type of folks that are around me are just not doing what they're supposed to do. They're not focused. They got so much going on. Some of them are nice people, and you fill in the blank. Okay. So this message is for you. No time for people. First of all, we need to examine ourselves. Do we really have time for people? One thing about being a believer, Jesus, he had time. He had time for people, as we have read in the Bible. He had quite a bit of time. Matter of fact, his schedule was quite clear in terms of getting to know folks, performing healings on people, counseling, casting out demons, teaching. He made time for people. So the question is, do you have time for people? Look at your schedule. Take a look. Think about what you have to do this week, the next week, and the following week. Do you have time? Okay. Now, how much time are you dedicated to technology versus how much time you're dedicated to people? A lot of folks have plenty of time to sit in front of the computer during their free time, but they don't have, so they say, enough time to sit down in front of people. That, my friends, is a problem. If I want to, let's say, obtain employment, at some point, I'm going to have to leave the screen, right, where I'm searching for employment and sit down and connect with people offline. If I'm spending all my time on the internet looking for the job, I've also got to make the time to meet with the people who I am communicating with over the internet, right? Some people forget about that. Believe it or not, they actually sit in front of the screens, their telephones, their computers, anywhere they can talk to folks. But, meeting with you? Let me see. Why can't they meet with you? Because they have so much time dedicated to electronics. They have so much time dedicated to sending another email, sending another text, tweaking this, updating that. Well, if you're a believer, you know that part of the requirement of walking with the Lord is connecting with people. Some folks will never grow spiritually because they don't want to leave in front. They never want to leave the box, whatever that box might be. Like I said, the computer, the television, the portable device, whatever. They don't want to leave it. So you do become stagnant in this walk because you're not walking. You're doing a lot of talking over the internet, but you're not actually going somewhere and seeing people. And I have personally witnessed this and experienced this. If someone wants to accomplish something, let's say that you want to remain in an area and you want to be able to connect with people in that area, various companies, organizations, or what have you, you're going to have to dedicate much time in that area. But not only are you reaching out over the internet, but you've got to leave out of the atmosphere that you're looking at all of this material and start walking and driving and meeting where the people are. And this is why some folks, they could have gotten opportunities where they were, but they never wanted to get out of their comfort zone. Okay. Sometimes the comfort zone is that I only want A, B, and C. I want this particular connection on this particular day, and I want to make X, Y, Z amount of money, but you're not willing to take a risk. You're not willing to make some changes. You're not willing to say, okay, well, maybe I can make X amount of money if I do this or if I do that. So before long, you find yourself being taken out of your comfort zone, or you end up being forced to go out of your comfort zone, all because you didn't make the necessary changes early on. Okay. You didn't make the necessary steps early on that could have prevented you from being forced to do something that you really don't want to do. Okay. Forced to go somewhere that you really don't want to go. Okay. This is what happens when people develop these, shall we say, meaningless routines. If my meaningless routine is that I get up every morning, I sit in front of the television screen. After that, I might just go over to the computer, look at a few things. Okay. Then after that, I'm going to go, maybe shop, maybe take care of, a few things, but that's about it. Okay. That's a meaningless routine if it's not getting me to where I need to be. So if my goal is that I need to connect with people, I need to meet with people, I need to network with people, that meaningless routine is not getting me where I need to be. I need to be more specific. I need to be more detailed, and I definitely need to allot time to get out of my comfort zone. Okay. God sets up opportunities wherever we might be, whatever we might pray about. He does. But people overlook those opportunities because they wanted to spend a little bit longer in front of the television screen. They wanted to spend a little bit longer sitting in front of the computer screen or listening to their music, okay, or texting. But you were supposed to be getting up and going over to this particular event, and you were supposed to be sitting down with this group of people, and you were supposed to start expanding your horizons and looking at other places to connect with folks. But you didn't do it because you didn't feel like it. Okay. That's what some folks will do. They don't feel like it. Okay. So it's frustrating because you're trying to talk to people and give them all sorts of ideas and things they can do. And then before long, once they are forced to have to look at a situation for what it really is, right? Now I've got to pack up and I've got to move. Now I've got to, start telling people, listen, I'm not going to be able to make it in this particular location because, well, the truth be told, when folks had the opportunity to connect with the right people at the right time or what have you, they ignored the voice of God. They ignored messengers. They chose to sit in front of the television a little longer. They chose to listen to music and text and do all this stuff over the internet, and they did not take care of business. You've got to have a passion for connecting with folks. If you know that is where the opportunity is, that is where your ministry's headed, that is where, you're going to get your blessings. And if you are that one that likes to talk a lot about how you don't like people, I hate people or what have you, or people that's like this is why they don't get any further than where, they are, or they end up doing something they really don't like. And guess what? Everybody sees, he don't really like that job, or, he don't really like connecting with them folks over there. But you see, he should have been over here taking care of his business, but now he's forced to have to settle. He's forced to have to do whatever he, really doesn't want to do because of all that time he wasted. You see, because there is a time clock that we are all on in this walk. And this time clock goes very quickly. Before long, you look up and it's nighttime again. And then you think about your day and what exactly did you accomplish during your day? Okay. Like I said, if the goal is about connecting with people, these folks who are frustrating, who get on your nerves, who are not stepping up to the plate, okay, they just might cause you to lose out. Sometimes God will move on your spirit and say, guess what? I don't want you reconnecting with those folks. Because those people right there, you already know what happened the last time when you connected with them. You're not going to get anything done. Sure, they're nice people. Sure, they appreciate you, like you, whatever, but you're not going to get anything done because that particular group is not going to help you. However, I have another group. And if you're willing to drive, if you're willing to walk, if you're willing to ride the bus, if you're willing to pack up your stuff, and move, if you're willing to get on a train, a bus, a plane to go see them, there they are. Are you willing to do that? Okay. It can be frustrating when people claim that they have time for you when they really are more concerned about, like I said earlier, their electronics. Because you know what they were doing those past 2 or 3 hours, because they may have alerted you. Oh yeah, I got this, that, and the other to do on the computer. And then you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting and they're a no-show. Well, you know what they were doing. They're spending all that time on the computer, being distracted, looking at this website and that one, adding this, doing this, that they forgot all about you. Okay. People that repeatedly do this sort of thing, they, tend to have other things going on with them. It's one thing if a person, every now and again forgets. Okay. We all do. But if a person is consistently forgetting about people in general, forgetting to meet with this one, forgetting to, connect with this person, didn't go to this event, canceled this one or that one, there's a problem. There's a problem brewing, or there's a problem that's already, embedded or ingrained within them. And if you are dating someone like this, who every time you turn around, they have an issue with connecting with you, or they keep forgetting. I remember a guy who I was dating. He told me he was building up a website. That's a red flag. Some folks will say, what do you mean that's a red flag? He's building up a website. He's trying to better himself. Oh, well, it was a red flag in the sense that there was going to be some times where he was, going to be quite busy with that website, right? So he's not going to have the time. Now, here's the red flag. The red flag was that he was not picking up the phone and letting me know exactly when he was going to be working on the website and when we could be able to connect. Okay. So if you're not communicating these things, then what else might you not be communicating? And how long am I supposed to, wait for you if you happen to be late, or are you going to even communicate and let me know from the start that you're going to be late? Or am I going to just be sitting there looking silly at a restaurant somewhere, you see? So when somebody tells you that they've got this really big project that's on the internet, you're going to need to pay close attention to how much time are they going to dedicate to that project versus how much time they're going to dedicate to you as well as other people offline. And a lot of times those that are, hell bent on getting stuff done over the internet or elsewhere, they don't have too much time to be dealing with people because they're very involved in their equipment. They're very involved with process, and you have to be that understanding one. But how much understanding is key? That's the key question. How much understanding do you have to have when that person says, I can't meet you, I can't be around right now, I can't do this for you, I can't do that. Okay. That person may have poor time management skills. That person may not be into people like that. Okay. They may be very much into their equipment. So that's a red flag for you that that's not going to be the type of person that you're going to want to be around if you're a people person. Okay. Because that person is clearly letting you know, I'm not into people like that. I love my projects. I love my little, this, that, and the other. Okay. Some folks just will not dedicate any type of free time to people, but they will dedicate time to helping you with your computer. They will dedicate time with helping you with things that involve electronics. But no, don't ask me to sit down and talk to you. Don't ask me to look you in your eye and have a serious conversation. Nope. I am very comfortable in front of my electronic device, you see. And that can be quite frustrating because you want to be able to connect with a human being. And some people have allowed the world and technology and new trends and new ideas and new inventions to inundate them to the point where they do not want to connect with people because to them, people are boring. People are uninteresting. And no, I don't want to sit at another family event and stare at people. Okay. Now, let's say that you are the interesting type, and let's say that you are very much into people, but you are surrounded by a lot of people who are not into your type. You are going to have to figure out a way to just get some things done in their world, in the sense that maybe the best way to communicate to them is via text because, hey, they're looking at their portable device, so they'll see your text. They'll see your email. They'll see, a live chat. Sometimes the only way you can communicate with people is via the things that they love or like a lot. Okay. More and more parents are realizing this when their children are not picking up the phone, but they prefer to send a text. How come you didn't call me? I don't want to call. Matter of fact, I did call you. Well, what do you mean? I sent you a text. Okay. So some parents have realized that the only way that they're going to connect with their kids is they better send a text. Okay. You know, what is your choice of communication, right? What is it that you enjoy talking to people on? Okay. You pick what that is, and then you tell them this is how you prefer to be contacted. People who respect you, who really want to connect with you, they're going to respect that. They're going to go ahead and they're going to reach out to you, via the medium that you choose. But there are times, though, that you're going to have to pick up the phone. You're going to have to go old school and, run something over to someone in person. It's not going to always be about going through technology. And some things are still not equipped to be handled via a device. Okay. Going back to the spiritual side of things with all of this people business. When Jesus was communicating with the different disciples and when he was talking to those who were not, he had to use his voice, right? He had to most likely use some hand motions, and he may have even pointed at some things around him to convey his message. Nowadays, people are using all sorts of things from images to whatever they can get their hands on that is related to electronics, okay, or is something that they just feel will best communicate their message, okay? We have the tools to communicate to all sorts of people in all sorts of ways. But if God, believer, is telling you that something is no longer working and that you're not connecting with people in the way that you could, then listen to him. I know it's comfortable sending a text, but some folks are hurting, and a text can come across very cold. It can be harsh. It can cause division. It can even cause major upset. And people nowadays will copy a text in a minute and then send it out to other folks. And so if you thought you were going to get away with something, there's the text. So if God is moving on your spirit to pick up the phone as opposed to sending a text, then connect with the person via the phone. If God is moving on your spirit to go and sit down with a person, then sit down with him or her. You could be offending someone and not even know it because of all your texts and your email. Well, how come they didn't communicate that to me? Because they're trying to figure out the right words. Or maybe they realize that, you know what, you're not my cup of tea. I don't really like you too much because you're coming across as pretty cold, a little emotionally distant, So therefore, this is the way some people behave. They distance themselves as opposed to just telling you that they don't like the way you communicate, or they don't like the choice of communication that you've used. Okay. This happens a lot between those who date. You get some of these folks who are offended and they don't communicate why they're offended. And it could be something as simple as a dry text. Folks communicating one sentence responses to, paragraphs. That's disheartening. If I'm spending the time to share my feelings and then someone responds back with a one-liner, that's not giving me any hope in terms of, is this a person that I really want to connect with offline? And that person could really be a nice person and might be your match, but you can't tell, right? Because they're responding with one-liners. And there's many males in particular that's guilty of that sort of thing. And so the women are not interested. They move on to somebody who can, write more than just one sentence, maybe 2 or 3 sentences, maybe a paragraph or 2, along with some emojis and a cool font. I mean, so these are things to consider. Connecting with people is a part of walking this walk. And if that's not something that you're into, then you will be stagnant and you will not flourish in the way that God wants you to. It is a process. We do go from dealing with our stuff, dealing with some other folks' stuff, cutting away, cutting off, and then we are to reconnect with some folks that mean well, and then we are to disconnect from those that don't, and then we are to start meeting new people. And some people, that's just what they're going to do. But how are you going to go about doing it? And are you going to stay consistent? Are you going to make time? Going back to that, are you going to make time for these new people that's coming into your life? You've got to be able to make the time. If you are busy with electronics and you are busy with family members and friends and you're busy with, some of these meaningless tasks that you just make up on one day and then on another day, it's another meaningless task. When are you going to connect with the folks that God wants to bless you with? And those people are interconnected to the blessings, and those people are interconnected to the wisdom, and they're the ones that's going to help you, in your future endeavors, whatever it is that you've been praying about. But if my schedule is so busy or so full, or I'm coming up with excuses so that I don't have to connect with people, I'm going to miss out. So that is the takeaway from this message. Don't miss out on opportunity. Be prepared for the opportunity that's ahead. And one of those ways is be open to the folks that's going to come to you via the internet, via text, via in person, mainly in person though. And be discerning when you meet these individuals, because God will test you. Every now and again, he will allow the enemy to show up in an individual or group so that you can see the differences between a good connection and a bad connection, so that you can be able to learn more about people, so that you can heal from some past issues. Sometimes you've got to go through some things so that you can recognize that, okay, I am not that person that I used to be because I reacted differently, you see. But people are going to be a part of this journey. And if you're not ready, then you need to be praying. Lord Jesus, give me the strength, give me the wisdom, the patience, and the understanding when it comes to people. Lord Jesus, I don't want to be the one that's guarded and ready to fight and ready to complain or nitpick about people. I just want to embrace people and love people for who they truly are. Help me, Jesus, and God will see you through. Well, I thank you as always for taking the time out of your busy schedule and making time for me. Please do check the description box for anything related to your situation. Also, if you haven't given, please do. You've been listening to YouTube NM Enterprise 7. Please take a moment to subscribe. May God richly bless you.